My parents never pretended to treat my brother and me equally. From the time we were kids, it was obvious who the favorite was. My older brother, Daniel, got the bedroom with the balcony and the new furniture set my mom picked out from a catalog. I got the smaller room across from the laundry machine. Every night, the dryer rattled through the wall like an old truck engine. Daniel got guitar lessons, summer camps, and a brand new laptop when he started high school. When I asked for soccer cleats once, my dad told me the old pair still had some life left in them. They were 2 sizes too small. At school events, my parents showed up early for Daniel. They brought snacks for his friends and sat front row when his band performed. When I had my science fair presentation, they arrived 30 minutes late because Daniel needed a ride to practice. Eventually, I stopped being upset about it. Not because it stopped hurting, but because it became normal. By the time I turned 17, I had already learned something important. If I wanted something in life, I was going to have to earn it myself. So I did. I worked weekends at a grocery store. I saved every tip from delivering pizzas. When I got into college, it was mostly scholarships and loans. My parents congratulated me, but the excitement lasted about 5 minutes before the conversation shifted back to Daniel's plans. Daniel didn't like college. He dropped out after a year. Then he tried photography, then cryptocurrency trading, then starting a clothing brand. Every time something failed, my parents called it a learning experience. When I struggled financially during my first year after graduation, my mom told me it would build character. Then my grandfather passed away. He had always been the quiet one in the family, but apparently he had saved more money than anyone realized. When the will was read, everything went to my parents, around $280,000, the family house, and his old pickup truck. A week later, my parents invited Daniel and me over for dinner. We sat at the dining table while my dad explained they had made a decision about the inheritance. They were giving most of it to Daniel. According to my mom, he just needed a fresh start. My dad said Daniel had so much potential and that the money would help him finally succeed. No one asked what I thought. I just nodded and said I understood. And honestly, I did, because it was exactly what I expected. Daniel used the money to buy a condo downtown and start yet another business. This time, it was a bar with his best friend, Kyle. Kyle was the kind of guy who always had big ideas and absolutely no plan to back them up. For the first few months, everything looked great on social media. Photos of packed tables, videos of Daniel laughing behind the bar. Then the posts slowly stopped. 16 months later, the bar closed. Kyle disappeared. The business account was empty. Most of the inheritance was gone. Daniel moved back into our parents' house. That was 3 years ago. Last week, my mom called me and said they needed to talk. I drove over Sunday afternoon. The house looked older than I remembered. Paint peeling, the porch reeling loose. My dad walked slower now and leaned heavily on the kitchen counter. My mom's voice shook slightly while she poured coffee. They explained things weren't going well financially. Medical bills were piling up, the house needed repairs. Daniel was still trying to get back on his feet. Then my dad slid a folded piece of paper across the table. On it was a number. $9,500. He said if I helped take care of things for the next year, appointments, finances, house repairs, they could pay me that much. My mom quickly added that it wasn't really about the money. It was about families sticking together. I stared at the number for a long moment. Then I looked around the kitchen. The same kitchen where they told me Daniel needed the inheritance more than I did. The same house where I spent years listening to the washing machine through the wall while my brother practiced guitar in his big room upstairs. I folded the paper and slipped it into my pocket. Then I told them I'd need time to think. On the drive home, I called a lawyer friend. I asked a simple question. If I agree to help my parents financially or medically, what should I protect myself from legally? He laughed softly and said the same thing most professionals say in situations like this. Get it all in writing. That night, my dad called. Twice. I let both calls go to voicemail.